Talking all that bullshit, you bitchin' like heaven. But you said
I wasn't gon' be shit, just hold on a second.
back from the
Fold on a person.
Elijah, what inspires you musically?
So as a kid, I grew up in the Midwest, born and raised in that. My dad was a house DJ growing up in the 90s, so in Chicago in the 90s, house was like fucking huge. Like it was like revolutionary. Like besides hip hop, that was the biggest genre, you feel me? So my dad was hella into that shit, and before he went to the Marines, he ended up like DJing with like Bad Boy Bill, DJ Too Fast, Cool, Easy, I forgot the fucking name. The homie's hard.
Yo, Taj needs to fucking record his verse.
Transition.
You gotta do it.
Come say with us.
You gotta do a better transition.
We gotta do a transition shit.
But yeah, so my dad used to be like on the turntables. He used to hear the hi hat. He'd be like, "You hear that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I hear that." He's like, "Tap your foot to that. Don't miss it. Every time, tap your foot to that." I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Now you hear the boom, 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 boom." I'm like, "Yeah, that's like the bass." He's like, "Tap your foot to that. Now switch them out. Do one foot that and the other foot that, and then don't miss them." And ever since that, that's how I got my rhythm. And then I just fell in love with music, and I never really did music until I was like 18. And honestly, it kind of sounds corny, but X kind of really like inspired me like to do that shit, because it was like a kid who was like hella troubled and hella like gone through some shit, but like despite all of that, he was just laying down what the fuck he felt like on the track, and that shit like kind of spoke to me, and how like the rawness he put on that shit, like that shit was hard to me. Like as like a teenager, that shit really like spoke volumes to me. I could do some shit with my life.
Okay. All right, Taj, what inspires you musically?
I don't want to keep it so basic, but I'll say life, the struggle, trying to find a way to fit in and fit out of life. I think going through a lot to obviously keep your inspiration, going through what you're going through will be the reason you do the things you do. But I think majority of it is trying to find who I am, where I fit in. That comes with trying to be something you're not, trying to be something you are, trying to see what works for you, trying to see what doing. A lot of it came also from like you were saying, my dad made music, so. But I never looked at music as a thing that I wanted to do. I was always into like acting and things, so I always had some type of character. I've always had some type of like being in presence of showing my ass, I guess you could say, of being out there. But I think it really came from me watching other people doing something they love, which brought fun, and I thought it was cool to at least do something of my character that brought some type of attention. Then I could be seen. Then it'll show some type of notice. Then it'll show some type of, this is me. I'm someone too. I'm a presence that's around. I'm living, you know? Like, I think a lot of it came from me not being, not having this, not having that, not being able to grasp towards this, either as women, clothes, struggling, not having money, or whatever. I always wanted something where it's like, where people could look at me and be like, we want what you have, or we want to be just like that, or we want to, you know, support what you have going on. It played a big part in my life, because I've always chased the things that was never for me, but then, you know, then you realize, you know, those group of kids aren't as cool as they seem. You know, it takes a group of people to become one person, but then it's like, when you become yourself, you learn that you're just as many as the people that you used to look towards. And I felt like once I stopped chasing that, I became something, and then it stopped becoming a chase.